Thank you, President. President von der Leyen, President Michel, colleagues. I listened with interest to what President von der Leyen said. She gave us information about her travels to the United States and some ideas about what we can expect from the Commission and what's going on within the Commission. If I may, however, I'm somewhat sceptical about this because in what you set out, there are, of course, points that are promising. But these are promises that we've heard so many times, and yet we're still waiting for concrete results. And it's very far from what our manufacturers, our industry wants to see in the coming months. There's an error in the basic strategy that the EU is following. And this is something I've said repeatedly. I believe it's a mistake to copy the United States or to believe that the European Union today can or should be following the United States into a battlefield where we don't have the right kind of arms. The right strategy is not just to repeat exactly what the United States are doing, but to try to understand why the United States are allowed to be more protectionist in their industrial policy and we can't in Europe. And it's because we don't have the right instruments available to us. I've said the tools that we need a number of times, and I'm going to set out a few that we do need, and that should be the basis for our industrial transition. You referred to one, President, and we've talked about this a lot. We have too much administrative bureaucratic complexity. Today, private investors aren't investing in Europe, above all because there are just too many rules. It's too complicated. And we don't have the correct legislative environment that they want for this type of investment. The second point, again, President, you referred to this in your initial words, the capital markets. The United States have a very highly developed capital market. Europe is behind on this. We've been discussing it for years, and yet we've made very little progress. There's a lot of liquidity in this market that is waiting for the right kind of signal so that they can invest in new technologies, for instance. And then the final point is on natural resources. The United States is a country that have a lot of natural resources, not just on its own territory, but also from its neighbours and its allies. You referred to Canada. Our transition is going to be based on technology and resources that will be dependent on a country that we aren't such an ally with today, China. There's another topic, however, that of technological neutrality. Today, the Commission is abandoning this principle, which is sacrosanct. They're abandoning the principle of technological neutrality in the transition. So this means that you are killing innovation and research. The final point on migration, I agree with what Mr. Procaccini said. I very much appreciated what President Michel said, because it seems that things are changing today. We're no longer embracing the narrative of open borders and redistribution. That's not realistic. We need to focus on legal activities. Illegal, clandestine migration is an illegal activity. In recent days, I've heard some colleagues attacking a government which has saved over 30,000 people at sea in recent months. So I think we need to hear a bit more respect, particularly from here, who talk about respecting rule of law, and yet when it comes to migration, they're willing to close their eyes to traffickers.
To the co-president of the Left Group, Martin Schödewan.